And a good evening to you all. It is, what time is it now? About 9 o'clock?
It is 9:01 to be exact.
All right. And we'd like to welcome you to our second podcast. And we've got some great guests tonight. We're going to have a published author, David Wolfe II, who wrote, what book did he write?
Haunts of Owensboro.
The Haunts of Owensboro. And then, of course, we're going to talk to our favorite buddy, Stacey Hayes, property manager of Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. Can't wait to go ahead and talk to her. Let's see, what do we have going on today?
Well, let's see. We have dealt with Hurricane Maria.
Yes.
That's been the popular things in the subjects of this week. And also, we have the little thing about North Korea and their dilemma. And then, of course,
Keep wanting to fire rockets at us.
Yeah, he's Rocket Boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
And with his adult Tinker Toys. And,
right.
And then we've got our earthquakes. I have heard about the devastation one in Mexico.
In New Mexico?
Mexico.
Oh, in the country of Mexico?
Yes.
I thought it was the state of New Mexico.
No, it's Mexico City.
Wow.
The latest count that I heard was a little over 200. There were some small quakes in our area. I don't know if y'all felt them or not. In Indiana, close to the Indiana-Illinois border, about a little town called Aladine or Alavine.
What was it on the Richter scale?
It was, I believe, it was under a 5. I know that.
Oh, wow. You would still feel a 5. I mean, when growing up in California, we had a 5.4 at Whittier Narrows earthquake, and then I believe we had a 6.4, which I was actually in high school.
Well, see, California had a 4.9. See, this has all happened sometimes.
4.9 is just, eh.
Well, the deal is, this all happened spontaneously in one day.
Wow.
So this is like 5 earthquakes in one day, and Mexico being the hardest hit.
That's crazy.
And besides that, as you all know, we're not going to Biloxi this weekend.
Yeah, we're not going to Biloxi.
And we've had some situations and all that, but I've had to distance myself, but yet I'm still part of the paranormal. We're just not doing as much in the paranormal right now until we can find our balance again. But we are doing some of the old stuff that we loved to do back in the day. We're kind of putting it old school, and we're going back a little bit.
Yeah.
And we're going back to what we did when we first started out. We're going to go scavenger hunting, and we're going to go and
hiking and stuff like that.
and do stuff like that and get back to nature. And so instead of us doing this Biloxi thing and having to deal with paracons and dealing with issues and all that stuff, we're going to take it back a bit and go like we did a long time ago when we went adventuring, and then we heard stories about different locations and just going in and checking them out, talking to the neighbors, just hearing the history, and try to reserve just the history, the paranormal history, the historical logic of it, taking yourself to a balanced area to where you feel like you're back to being at one.
Right.
Not to get off the subject, but we also going to be repeating the question from last week, so if you guys didn't get to participate on part of that questioning from last week, we're going to have that tonight, and hopefully you guys don't mind stating your opinions.
And see who gets the harder question tonight.
Oh yeah, the fishbowl. Where is the fishbowl?
Behind you.
Okay. Yeah, the fishbowl's out tonight for the next question for the end of this session. If you guys would like to be a part of it, just let us know through live chat on our YouTube channel or over here on Facebook Live.
Yep. Do note that we are on YouTube. It's youtube.com/user/phantasmic ghost hunters. So you guys can actually see all the extra camera angles, the graphics during the beginning of the show, also during intermission, and of course the outro. We do actually show photos and videos and stuff throughout the show on the YouTube stream. Unfortunately, you can't see that on Facebook because Facebook is only seeing us directly. And if you happen to notice, I am currently wearing the Dominion Ministry shirt and hat. This is from my buddy James and Nito. So going ahead and showing the love for the Dominion Ministry. Yeah, I was going to say industry.
Industry.
That's a little weird. A Dominion Industry. Hey, there you go, James. Another new name. So yeah, but we're actually gonna, like she stated, we're gonna go back to like our roots and kind of build ourselves back up before we make our trip out to New Orleans for the haunted bourbon, where we're gonna go ahead and premiere the first episode of the Paranormal Journey into the Unknown. It's going to be the St. Albans episode. So, and of course, we do have dates now of when all the episodes are coming out, so we'll go over those later on this evening. But let's see. What do you want to tell me about that book before we get David on the phone?
First, before we get on to the book about David, let's go ahead and go about last week's question so that we can do the next
Okay. Do you have it?
End of the segment. Yes, last week's question of the week was the criticisms in paranormal. What do you think is the criticisms in paranormal? What is the pros and cons that we have to deal with in the paranormal society every day?
Man, that's pretty good. She actually remembered it word for word.
And so what is your opinion? Messages. And I'm on Facebook Live. I have my laptop setting up right over here, so I can see you with your questions. I can see you with any concerns. There's no right or there's no wrong answer. I'm just wanting to pull out there of what is the pros and the cons of and criticisms of the paranormal.
I can't believe you actually knew it from word for word.
Well,
I really don't remember all of it. Of course, I slept since then.
Well, we all have slept since then. Ugh.
I mean, good Lord, we just recently did an investigation at the Massac County Courthouse in Metropolis, Illinois, and I believe we became a total hit in the city of Metropolis. People are stopping us left and right, just like, oh wow, tell us what you found at the courthouse. People are coming into her job at Rural King saying, you went to the courthouse? Oh, that's so cool.
Oh, just even my coworkers.
Yeah, and the coworkers.
My coworkers didn't know what we were doing, and I didn't realize half of my coworkers where I work at live in Metropolis.
Yeah.
And so when I hit Facebook, it got shared over, 250 times?
325 times the thing has been shared, and over 27,000 people have seen it and watched the video. It is like the most watched video. And what I mean by video is, first of all, we went through and started filming, and we had our regular cameras, and we weren't really getting anything. So I put all the cameras back to go ahead and charge. And she decided to take her phone and just walk around the building and do a Facebook Live. So while I was setting up the thermal camera, I was like, well, you know what? I ought to go ahead and do the same thing. So at first, I took my phone and I put it on a selfie stick, and it worked okay until it flipped upside down all by itself. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to use the Glide Gear Lelos. So I pulled the case off and put my phone on there. And I started walking around the building myself doing Facebook Live. And then we met up on the second floor, and that's when all the activities started happening. And if you watch the video from our Facebook Live, you'll see so many things that occurred. And it's just amazing that we captured it. And all of our viewers that were watching, I think we had about 45 viewers or something like that.
Oh, I'm thinking so. I don't.
And they were watching live the activity that was getting captured by us.
Which one of the new not toys, but one of our new equipment that we use, that's
the Dandy Box.
The Dandy Box. We're planning to have that creator on here soon. We're looking at probably when we come back from Ashburn, Georgia, when we do the Crime and Punishment Museum, because we're going to experiment again.
Oh, yeah.
We like to experiment at least 2 or 3 times with a new item before we really talk to the developer. But we're planning to have the designer and the developer. It's a husband and wife group who designed the Dandy Box. And if you happen to get the chance to watch that live video, or if it's still up, like he said, it's been circulated so many times on so many pages and so many areas, it's unbelievable. We're going to be on the radio station live Friday night. What is that radio broadcast again?
It's 920 WMOK, Real Country. It's a country radio station we're going to be on.
Oh boy, right down your alley. And yeah, we're going to be doing all that kind of stuff. So
that's going to be kind of cool.
So we're logging in one more time. We've got we have a bunch of people coming in on this question, or coming in right at this moment. I'm going to repeat the question one more time, and then I'm going to, here at 9:15, I'm going to start talking a little bit about David's book before I get David on.
Okay.
Because we did do one of the locations in David's book.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We'll talk about that here in a minute, and we'll get David involved because David was there that night, and we're hoping we get to go back and maybe finish that and get an investigation and do a little more.
Yeah, will be nice.
Because I've got a couple of things that we have now that would be interesting to experience at that location. We'll talk about it here in a minute. That question one more time before we get any further into tonight's segment is going to be, what is the criticisms of the paranormal? What are the pros and cons that we have to deal with in that society of the paranormal? It could be the paranormal, it could be the UFOs, it could be the Bigfoot, it could be anything that we use as not normal, and it is into that paranormal circle field of those areas. What do you think is the pros and cons and the criticisms that we deal with?
I gotta ask you, do you believe in UFOs?
That is still up for game because, number one, I've read the stories, and, we always have, as a child, you're enthralled. I mean, you had E.T., you had encounters from,
Close Encounters, third kind, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you have all that kind of stuff. But as a personal experience, no. Have I seen anything fly in the sky? No. I mean, like I said, I've been in the history of the point of I've been involved in the paranormal off and on due to my mom, due to the house, and all that. It's because I had personal experiences that brought me into the light of the paranormal and understanding the paranormal. Me, have I inexperienced and do that in the UFO industry? No, I have not. Have I had anything show up in my backyard and try to abduct me? No, I have not. Have I seen a 6-foot or 7-foot hairy creature crawling out of my backyard? No, but I have seen a few strange neighbors doing little weird things going on down the street. But I don't count that as a Bigfoot.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. That was interesting.
But have I been on a Bigfoot adventure? No. Do I plan on going on a Bigfoot adventure?
You don't want to?
I don't know. I mean...
Well, you get to use infrared. It would be kind of cool.
Yeah, but...
Rodney said he believes in all.
He believes in all. Okay.
Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
The Goat Man?
Hey, the Goat Man's at St. Albans.
No, I'm talking about the one that is it in Owensboro?
I mean, there's how many Goat Mans? There's Goat Man Bridge, there's Goat Man at St. Albans, there's a Goat Man,
What is the Goat Man? Is it a demon?
A demon. It's part man, part goat. Upper body of a person and leg of a fawn. It's a fawn.
It's a fawn.
Hey, Wayne, how's it going, man? So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things out there. And plus, also, we may be talking about what has been captured in photographs at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. They've actually captured what appears to be a goat man. You can see the muscular body. It does look like it has horns on its head, but you can also see the legs are kind of, they come down and they kind of fold out forward and bent back, which means like a horse.
Yes.
So, and it has been photographed inside Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, but we didn't see it. But I have seen the pictures, and it looks really freaky. I mean, we had some ideas what we were going to try to do, but unfortunately our ideas would not really work due to cracks in the walls, because our experiment would go right through the cracks. You remember that?
I don't remember what we was playing. I have thought outside the box so many times on different projects. I don't remember.
We were going to go ahead and set up a fog machine on the floor.
Oh, that's right.
We were going to have the infrared camera on top, a full spectrum camera on top of it, a regular camcorder, so it would have been like 3 tiers. And then down below, or actually above the fog machine, we were going to have a strobe light. So basically, that whole contraption that we build, turn the strobe light on and set the fog off, it'll actually looks like it's freezing time. So if there's something in that hallway while the fog is just going everywhere, it would actually freeze whatever is there.
Gotcha.
Because if you have a fan on the other side, you turn your strobe light on, the blades will just go really, really slow. So I figure, hell, if you can do that, we can probably capture an apparition that way. We can capture really anything that way. So it's kind of an experiment that we need to do, but the fog machine would have dispersed all the fog, but it would have went right through all the cracks inside the walls.
Yeah.
So that really would not work. But go ahead and tell me about this Haunts of Owensboro by David Wolfe.
Well, I have gotten the book last night, and I have cracked it open, and I have read it between every break, every lunch, after work, and everything in order to get this done, because I didn't get the book received to me, because yes, I am the reader of the group, and it was interesting. It's amazing how he has incorporated so many locations into a book of a town that I didn't really know a lot of history about. I mean, we did get to do the ghost tour last year with him, and I thought that was pretty awesome and interesting. And of course, we brought a little bit of our gear with us, and he had quite a few people there that night that was with us, and it was interesting. And then, of course, in the book, he talks about one of the locations that we went on a little bitty mini investigation, and hopefully we might get to go back in the future.
You're talking about the Campbell House?
We are talking about the Campbell House.
Yeah.
Which is now a nice restaurant. So if you ever go to Owensboro, Kentucky, to always check out the Campbell's house. I mean, it's really pretty. It's got a beautiful staircase as soon as you go in the door, and it's got the gentleman's bar in the back. That was pretty cool. It has all these pictures of these gentlemen on the wall, and we had gotten some interesting evidence from that night that we were there.
What's the story with all the gentlemen on the wall?
The gentleman on the wall, I'm thinking, and I don't remember exactly, because I had to do a rush through on the book.
Right.
And the rush through when we did the Campbell House. I remember, I think they were like past board members.
Past board members, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do remember we said something about if there was anybody there that wanted to talk to us, and we got a guy's name, remember? And we also saw like a shadow that walked behind me down the hall, and I went after it with the flashlight.
Well, before we got to go we got to meet David for the first time when we were there for GhostCon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I learned about David. Didn't even know that there was ghost tours in Owensboro until David was, I got to learn some information at that GhostCon thing, and we've kind of known him ever since.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and get him on the line here, and we'll see what he talks about.
All right, David, we're getting ready for you.
Hello.
Hey, David, how are you doing? It's
Hey.
Gavin Kelly.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. We were just talking about your book, The Haunts of Owensboro.
I know. I've been watching you guys. It's really cool. So.
Cool. Thanks.
So what got you the idea of writing this book?
Oh man, that goes back a long time. Gosh, I don't know how long I got. So I'll try to make a long story short. Owensboro. People always say their city or their town is the most haunted. Man, I always challenge them. Come to Owensboro. Let me show you around. Not even for a tour. Just call me up, and I'll be glad to. If I have time, I'll take you out there and show you some places. I mean, it's the real deal. Just collecting stories ever since I was a kid. I've just been a collector of stories, and I've done some of the ghost hunting. I get people ask me all that. Are you a ghost hunter? Sort of, yes, but more of a collector of stories. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, I had a personal experience back, not in Owensboro, but another town, back when I was 6 or 7 years old. I don't know if you want to hear about that, but
sure,
we'll get to that maybe in a minute. But, about the book itself, there was a gentleman here in Owensboro, Kentucky, who was my mentor, a friend, and I love him dearly. He's not around anymore, unfortunately. And that was Joe Ford. His wife's still alive, though, Grace Ford. Shout out to her. Mm-hmm. And I used to watch him come and tell ghost stories at the schools. and back then when they allowed it.
Right.
And yeah, and it would spook me out, but man, I loved it. I mean, I didn't sleep a wink that night. So, you know, I remember watching it on stage and going, man, I want to do that. That's what I want to do, you know. And this is back when I was in like 6th grade, so I was 12, 13 years old, you know.
Wow. Started early.
So then from then on, I just started collecting stories, and then I did the tour, obviously, about 11 years ago, and people kept hounding me, kind of going, when are you going to write a book? When are you going to write a book? When are you going to write a book? So finally I just said, okay. And a couple years ago I did it. So.
Well, she's been enjoying it. I mean, she loves how you actually incorporate numerous locations and doing cross-referencing between the locations.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. There's quite a bit. I mean, everything from, you know, the most haunted. I always say the most haunted place, and everybody always asks me, what's the most haunted? And I always have to give a shout out to the Theater Workshop of Owensboro. That's one of the most haunted spots, in my opinion. Just not because I've had a couple of experiences, but numerous other people have had experiences that were actors and actresses and directors and stagehands that have been in there. And I collected a lot of their stories throughout time. And, you know, the oldest ghost story, I remember Joe Ford telling me it. One of the oldest ghost stories about that place is, you know, the girl, I don't want to give too much away in the book, but a young girl supposedly committed suicide, you know, hung herself in the bell tower.
Right.
And the oldest ghost story is from that time on, which was 1890s, up until a couple years ago, people still claim to hear the bell ring. You know, now I never heard it myself. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
I think it's kind of funny. I did tell that story one time on the tour outside, and the church bell, like half a block down the road, rang real loud. I think there's a lot of people peeing their pants. So.
Oh wow! Well, I know when we did the ghost tour with you, I actually had a few experiences. Didn't one of my cameras stop working or stop recording or something like that?
Yeah, it did.
At the theater?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it did too. And it wasn't just you. I think some other people were having some problems too. So it was really ironic and kind of coincidental.
And there was one person that took a picture that actually thought she grabbed something, and then we took a picture of that picture. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a very eventful night.
Oh yeah, it was. And then we finished up over at the Campbell House.
Yeah, the Camel Club. Yeah, we went over there. That place was that place is awesome. I love them people. They Matt Weaver, shout out to him. He opened the door for, well, not just me, but for you guys too, to be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most of the night.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience inside there. I mean, that's when we actually used the Tascam DR100 Mark III for the first time, and we wound up getting that one recording where we actually thought it was somebody up on the 4th floor yelling. And then
And the third floor, third floor. And
then we come to find out it was actually somebody in their car with their window down and the radio on about a
block
away.
I know. I remember how disappointed I was because all three of us were like, "Did you hear that?" You know, but that's a good thing, though. It's not a bad thing. That debunks. I don't mind debunking. So.
Oh yeah.
Because that means the real stuff you're even more enthused about. That's the real stuff makes it even more exciting.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that just basically right there shows that sound travels, and it's unbelievable the distance it'll go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were talking. I was watching how you were. Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay. I was just agreeing.
You're talking about who the person in the bar was, and that was Dr. Blackstone, I think.
Yeah, Blackstone. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all calling out the names, and nothing was happening with that.
Until we said Blackstone.
Go ahead.
Yeah, until we said Blackstone, and then we started getting some stuff. Remember that shadow that went behind me when I was leaning against the bar?
Yes, I do. I do remember that. And your little device you had on the bar when I said Blackstone lit up, and every time we would say it, it would light up or buzz or something like that.
Right. So we actually believed we were talking to Mr. Blackstone, but I went ahead and tried to chase that shadow that was behind me. I mean, it actually looked like it was, I don't know how tall it was. I thought maybe it was like 4.5 feet, maybe 5 feet tall. And it was just like peering around the corner and then zoom, disappeared, and I went after it. But yeah, that.
Well, I tell you, here recently, am I allowed to mention another ghost show or
sure.
or not?
You can. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I was doing my son was filming me because I wanted to do a tryout thing for Zach's show that's on Travel Channel. And,
yeah. A lot of my friends did that.
Adventures.
Yeah.
But besides that, my son took a picture, just a real quick picture, and I'll get that picture to you maybe.
Okay.
But he took a quick picture in the window. He said, "Well, Dad, before we go, let me take a picture inside." And lo and behold, it looks like two couples sitting there. Now the place is closed; it's dark, nobody's in there. It looked like two couples, and what's weird looking is it looks like they're getting ready to kiss.
Huh.
It looks like a guy and a girl.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's not always scary, folks. You know.
Yeah, right. So it was taken with a flash.
Yeah, I think so. So, you know, and still have recent hauntings, quite a bit at the Camo Club, which is ongoing.
So there had been some recent activity then.
Yeah, they have. They've had everything from the footsteps being once again going up and down the steps, and they've had to call the cops, and the cops come, found nobody.
Wow.
You know, things like that. And they've still seen, like you, shadowy apparitions and numerous things like that. So yeah, that place is legit. It's great. And it's great food too. I noticed you gave a shout out to him about that, so thank you for doing that, Paula.
Not a problem.
Yeah, she also mentioned that we definitely want to go ahead and see if we can possibly go over there and do the investigation. So we just got to figure out exactly
finish up where we left off. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we just got to figure out when we can actually do that.
Sure.
Wow, looks like the Facebook Live just bombed out. That's the reason why I always tell people to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because the YouTube stays up running, but Facebook Live just crashed. My phone just totally bit the bucket.
Oh no.
Yeah, so.
Oh no. Oh, yikes. Well, that's okay. People can go on YouTube and they can find it out. Where do they go on YouTube? Can you tell them real quick?
You got to go to youtube.com/users/Phantasmic Ghost Hunters. Oh, wow. My phone rebooted.
Yeah, but it's at 1%.
It's Ghost.
Wow. And it also didn't even charge. How do you like that?
So is there any other places that you want to hear about in Davis County? Not just that's on my tour, but maybe throughout Davis County or,
Oh, the only one that I really want to get into, and I know Paula does too, is that workshop building.
The which one?
The workshop.
Oh, the theater workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah. That particular building was built in 1875. It's one of our oldest brick Gothic architect style churches up in Western Kentucky. Now it holds theaters, plays and things like that. And if you ever want to see a good play, I suggest you guys definitely go to it, because I've been to numerous ones and they're wonderful. Good group of people there, and great stories. I mean, there's just so much enrich of ghost stories and history about the place.
Right.
I could tell you, if you have time for, a real quick experience that happened on the tour, actually.
Yeah, go ahead and lay it on us. I'm going to try to get this Facebook Live up while you do that.
Okay, sure. Unless you want me to hold on, I can.
No, go ahead.
Nobody likes dead air. So,
no.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
So one particular time, about 9 years ago, I don't normally go out in the wintertime because it's so unpredictable around here with the weather. But this group took care of me quite handsomely, and they wouldn't take no for an answer. So I said, all right. So we bundled up and we went out there, and we got to this one particular back door where there's been a lot of ghostly stories about that, a very haunted area inside and out. And a lady had this camera, without exaggeration. She had this camera that was like a lens on it. You could see like every planet in the solar system. It was a huge lens. And she was able to take frame by frame with a LCD screen on the back of it. Very nice camera. And now her friend's got the K2 meter, which is an EMF detector, stands for electric magnetic field. You guys know what that is, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
But some of the viewers may not. I still have a lot of people on my tour say, what does this do? So anyhow, in it flashes, you know, to really, if it's really good, prominent ghost, it'll go to red or, you know. And so the one lady, her friend's by the back door, and it starts to flash.
Right.
And her friend's taking frame by frame picture. And I hear her friend go, "Oh my gosh." And she goes, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And she, you know, screams and runs off my tour. Now, this is an adult. And I'm like, no, wait, come back. And she comes back and she shows me the LCD screen. And she said, "I didn't scream, you know, because the detector went off. I screamed because of this." And what it shows is this apparition literally coming out of the wall. Bam, 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 each frame. And then she said, "I didn't scream because I saw it. I screamed because it pressed upon me. I didn't hurt her or hit her or push her down or anything. It merely just like somebody's hand in front of your face." And there's a picture of it. It literally just, boom, she caught it. So people ask me all the time, "Have you ever had anything happen on the tour?" Yes, we have. Anything damaging or bad or scratches or anything? No, nothing like that. But we've caught things on film that we can't explain.
Interesting. We just got the Facebook Live up.
Oh, good. Hey, Facebook Live, I'm glad you're back.
Yep, we got it back up. It was just kind of weird.
Very good.
Yeah, it's called multitasking.
I guess they didn't probably get to hear that story then, did they? Unless they were on YouTube. But in case you didn't, we just finished up a story about a very great haunting that happened on my tour about 9-10 years ago in the wintertime. So we've caught other things there. There's this one by the back door. I don't know if that was the night you guys were there. We caught this thing, looked like a blue boy is what I call him. And he's like all blue. It's really weird. And then the biggest one that most people talk about, and I'd love to send the picture to some other people too, and that's the kind of, I don't want to say it's a demon,
right? But
I will tell a story what happened, and you can kind of, you know, you can look in the book. There's pictures of it in there. But I was doing an investigation in there with a group named PASS. You probably heard of them,
right?
Stan Howard's group. Yeah, I used to be part of that group, and that being said, we were in there. This is probably about a good 11, 12 years ago, right before my tour started. We're in there. Long story short, we're packing everything up, and I grab Julie's camera, and I'm kind of silly and goofy, and I said out loud, "Okay, I'm going to snap one more picture," and I went, bam, I snapped this picture, and we had this obelisk. Now, an obelisk is if there's a spirit around, it's able to talk out loud through it, okay?
Right.
And the obelisk comes on, and it says these three words: demon, demon, demon. And lo and behold, and you can buy the book, or you can go to hauntsofowensboro.com, and you can see it there, and there's a picture of what looks like a demonic man or picture of somebody. There was nobody there, nothing there at all. It's not a trick of the camera or me, like some people I've seen take pictures and they'll move the camera and it looks like something blurs. It was nothing like that.
Right.
It looks legit, and it's creepy. Probably one of the creepiest pictures I've ever seen. So. Yeah,
you'll need to go ahead and send me that picture because we don't have those in the book.
Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, yeah. They're in there. They're in the book. But yeah, I'll definitely send that picture to you too. But it's pretty creepy. I mean, he's got the glowing. He looks like a skull face almost, sort of, with glowing eyes, sort of looking at you. Some people said it looks like he does have like a mustache and a beard, which there was nobody like that there.
Right.
Well, again, there was nobody standing there, you know. And I like to think I'm a pretty truthful person. If it's fake, I'll say it's fake. Kind of like you know, if it's fake, it's fake, you know. I mean, I've had people call me at 2 o'clock in the morning and tell me their blender's haunted. And I'm like, come on, man, you know, really? Just, okay. Right. And they're like, what do I do, Mr. Wolfe? And I'm like, unplug it. You know, or throw it out the back door. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but
that'll do it.
I get people ask me all the time, do you think everything's haunted or every place is haunted? No, I don't, you know. But I can tell you that place, and well, you talk about the Camel Club. They're legit.
Right. Well, we definitely want to go back.
So there's a couple. Yeah, definitely. And you know, maybe we can try to get you in the theater. I'll have to talk to the director and see what he says. You know, there's a lot going on there, and that's why it's so much harder to get in there now.
Right. Well, we just got to be able to figure out a time when we can actually do it. I mean, like right now, we've got so many things going on.
I know you do.
it would probably have to be like, gosh, I'd have to say next year maybe we'd be able to make it in there. What do you think, Paula?
Probably.
Next year?
I know. I talked to you guys last year. We were going to try to get you in this year, but you guys got booked up so quick.
Oh, I know. We get a lot of places landed in our lap, and they're basically.
That's great. That's a good problem to have.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, just like recently, we got the Massac County Courthouse and Jail landed in our lap, and we did a preliminary daytime investigation with 2 people, and it was just basically Jack, Juanita, me, and Paula. There's a total of 4 of us. And we were going around and taking pictures and running the video. And while we were in the basement, I got a recording of not just 4 voices, but 5.
Wow.
And we've had
that's cool. 5 different voices?
Well, 5 voices total.
Okay. Yeah, when we did ours at the theater, we got, I think it's on the website that you can listen to them at hauntsofholmesworld.com, and I think there's 8, might be more than that. I can't remember, but there's a lot of EVPs that we caught in just one place.
Huh. Well, what it was, Jack was talking to Juanita, and me and Paula were down in the basement. This is the funny part, is they thought we were up on the 2nd floor, and then we come walking on up the stairs from the basement. And they're like, wait a minute, we thought you were up there. And I'm like, well, did somebody come over here? Did you have a visitor? They're like, no. I'm like, we heard 3 people up here. So since that happened, Juanita contacted the commissioner, the county commissioner. And next thing you know, we landed the investigation. And now we're pretty much a hit in Metropolis, Illinois. We're going to be on the radio station tomorrow
there you
night.
go.
Yeah.
Well, that is so cool. Yeah.
It's crazy.
We're going to try to do some different things on the tour this year, too. You're talking about going into places, and there's a couple of different places I'm going to try to be able to get into. One I've never been into on the tour. I have investigated it one time, and that's the courthouse. We're going to try to get inside there, maybe see if I can get people to go through that. But it has to go through some red tape and some, talk to some people that work there. So we'll see. That's kind of a delicate situation because there's so many files and everything in there,
Oh, yeah, most definitely. That was one of the things that we were running into with this courthouse, but it was okay. They went for it.
Yeah. That'd be a good one for you guys to investigate. Maybe I can set something like that up. That's a big place, but it's been done before, and they've caught some pretty good stuff in there. A lot of rich history outside and inside of that place. So there's a recent haunting there about 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Inside the Davis County Courthouse there, which was pretty interesting. Did you have time for a quick story on that one, or?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. There's a lady I know that I've known her since I was a kid. She's a friend of the family, so she's pretty truthful, very truthful lady. And she went to the ladies' restroom. Now, there's a story about a ladies' restroom of a ghost that a lady went there one time about 5 or 6 years ago, and she went in there just to wash her hands, and nobody was in there, and she looks up, and there in front of her own reflection was this lady standing there looking at her with these eyes, something about these eyes, she kept saying, and she looked behind her, nobody was there, looked back in the mirror, and it was gone. Well, 2 months ago, this lady I know walked in there, and she went to use the restroom, and she said, I saw a lady, looked like she was being kind of like she was sick, she was holding against the stalls, and I said, what did she look like she was dressed? I'm going through all the questions that you and I go through all the time. And she said, well, she looked like she was kind of like from the 1940s, but she's kind of holding stall, looked like she was kind of sick. And I thought, well, okay. And she, of course, went in the stall to do her business. And she said, Mr. Wolfe, if she would have walked out, I would have seen her from underneath the stall or washed her hands or anything, but nothing. And I get out and she's gone. Well, okay, no big deal. Until 2 weeks after that, she went back to the restroom, that same restroom, and boom, she was there. But this time the ghost saw her and she saw the ghost, and I guess supposedly it disappeared.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah. that's pretty creepy. And I think one person told me that girl ghost that haunts the place is name. They just gave her name like Mabel, I think. So what the one told me. So pretty interesting stories about the hauntings there. Not just of that, but the ghost of Mr. Angel haunts the place, and there's been a lot of rich history outside too, where actual voodoo and hoodoo ritual took place outside of the place way back in 1896 on Christmas Eve night. So, and then there was also the courthouse was burned by Confederate guerrillas on January 4th, 1865. So as you can tell, a lot of stuff. And when people die and there's lynchings, which there was about 4 lynchings that took place, you know as well as I do, it usually leaves behind a negative type of energy. So.
Look like you're about to say something, Paula?
Yeah. I was reading one section in your book, and it was talking about Haunted Row. Can you tell me a little more about Haunted Row?
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, that's a cool place. That's on 7th Street. Yeah, Haunted Row. Thank you, Paula. It's a great question. It has several, about three or four houses in a row that hence the name. That's why I named it that. The biggest house there is what I kind of call it the Michael Myers house, because it looks like a Halloween house from the Halloween movies.
Oh, Lord.
But it's the Gillum Hopkins house. And it was built about 1890 by Dr. Gillum. He didn't live in it terribly too long when I researched, and he ended up giving it to his son. And coincidentally, I think it's the same one. Dr. Gillum ends up acquiring the Camel Club, and was called the Gillum House for many years. But anyhow, fast forward up, when the last public hanging took place, the gentleman that got arrested, he was actually living at that house, and the lady that owned the house boarded rooms. She, rented out rooms, and I think he was living there because that's the place the police went to look for him first. So there's another rich history there, I know. And then in 1959, around that time, the Hopkins acquired the house. Now, I knew the Hopkins. I was really close friends with their son, Tim, who was about 10 or 15 years older than I. We used to work together at Pizza Hut. And one particular night, I come up to the house, and it was just Tim by himself, and we was sitting in there in this big creepy home, and Tim says, "Hey, do you want to hear a ghost story?" Now, folks, I thought he was going to talk about another house. I didn't think he was going to talk about that house.
Right.
And I'm kind of, the whole time he's telling me the story, I'm kind of looking over my shoulder. So, and the hair's kind of going up. But the story is that Tim said back in the late 1980s, him and a friend who lived across the street had a couple dates to go out on, and they were, Tim was getting ready to go upstairs to take a shower, and he told his buddy, "Stay downstairs, I'm going to shower up, and then we'll go on our dates." And he said, "Just sit down in the living room, watch some TV." So his friend said, "No big deal." So his friend's sitting there watching TV, and there are only two in the house, when all of a sudden, he gets this feeling of being watched, and he looks over his right shoulder towards the staircase, and there is this apparition of a lady dressed in white and coming down the steps. And as she's coming down the steps ever so slowly, step by step by step by step, she starts coming towards him with arms reached out, and he bashes out of the door, screams like a little girl, and goes off into the, to his house. And when Tim called him, he said, "Where you at? We got to go." And he proceeded to tell him, he said, "Man, I'm never stepped foot in that house again," and tells him what he saw, his friend did. And Tim laughs, and his friend goes, "What's so funny?" He says, "Oh, you saw her too." TOO. Hence the two parts, folks. And many of the Hopkins family saw her over and over again, including Mr. Hopkins, Tim's dad. Said that he would be shaving and look in the mirror, and he'd see her behind him in the mirror reflection and going by. Gosh, there's a lot of stories with that house too. I know Stephen Hopkins told me a story about he was downstairs on the phone with his fiance, his wife now, and he was alone in the house, and all of a sudden up in his room, he hears all this furniture being moved, and he thought somebody broke in. So he told his fiance, he said, "Get ready to call the cops. I think somebody broke in." And so he runs upstairs with a gun, and he tries to get in the door, and the door is being held back to his own room. And he's like, "This is weird." Huh. And now it's one of these old rooms that have two doors. So he goes to the other door, and he literally kicks open that door. And what he sees astonishes him. He says every furniture was sucked into the middle of the room, pretty big size room, into the middle of the room in a circle type pattern for some reason. And of course, I went through all the questions. Okay, was there a storm? Was there an earthquake? Was the windows open? Was there a draft? Was, anything and everything to try to debunk it?
Right.
And of course, he said no, there was not. And so he was pretty convincible. I listened to his story about it. That's one house, and it's got a few other stories about it. There's also Mr. Dixon's house, who talks about a ghost that comes in and out of the basement, politely comes out and shuts the door and goes upstairs, and then politely comes back and opens the basement door and shuts it again. No big deal. The house beside Mr. Dixon, there was a couple that owned that house before the occupants now. They said that they went out on a date, and it was just them two. And they made sure, all the doors were shut and locked, and they would often shut off the rooms upstairs. Now, this house is a big, beautiful dollhouse-looking home. It's gorgeous, very late Victorian home. So they go out on a date. When they come home and they open up the door, right away when they look in the kitchen, they know something's wrong. They said every cabinet door was open, and all the drawers in the kitchen, cabinets and the drawers in the kitchens were all open and nothing missing. And then when they went upstairs, because they shut off a lot of the bedrooms' doors to conserve heat, they said all the bedroom doors were open too. It's like every door in the house was open.
Oh, wow.
Wow, sounds like poltergeist activity right there.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. Yeah, it does. So, and there's some more stories, but I don't want to give them all away. Buy the book, folks.
All right.
So
well, go ahead and tell.
A little cheap plug there. Sorry.
Oh, well, you get more time to put plugs in. Go ahead and tell our listeners and viewers where they can pick up your book.
Good.
And, of course, if you have any other things that you do besides being a published author.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, thanks for asking. I'll get to the plug-in on the book. Yeah, he was referring to my other job that I do. I'm an actor, a historical actor, and I portray historical figures throughout time. For instance, I portray Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, Ben Franklin, among a few others, and I'm actually going to I've done all these ones from like a couple of characters from the 18th century, a couple characters from the 19th century, and so I was thinking, okay, I got to get somebody from the 20th century, and so I'm fixing to do Johnny Cash. I love his story, and I can play guitar and sing like him, so that's going to be really good once I work on it. I'm really been last month or two trying to get it put together. So, folks, if you need a historical figure at your school, library, battlefield, any of these places, please feel free to PM me on here or go to davidwolfe.us. It's really easy. It's DAVIDWOLFE.us, and give me a shout out. I'd love to come to your place, and trust me, it's very engaging. It's a lot of fun. I bring a lot of stuff with me, and that kids and adults get to interact with. As far as the books, I'm also a publisher of these characters I mentioned. I'm a publisher of 5 books altogether. 3 of them are historical figures. One's about me and Rick Miller, co-authors of the book Tall Boy, which is about Abraham Lincoln's first trial here in Lewisport, Kentucky. Another one is about the man in the myth, George Washington, and Ben Builds a Better World, about Ben Franklin. Also, there's a children's book I wrote called Adora the Ghost Princess. It is not scary. It's for children. It's a story I made up, and I used to tell my daughter this story when she was really little. She's still really little, but to help her go to sleep. It's about standing up to bullies and don't lie and tell the truth. It's got a lot of good morals to it. So, and then last but not least, the Haunts of Owensboro. You can go and get that off of hauntsofowensboro.com or Pennant Publishing. That's my publisher, Pennant Publishing. I think you can get it at Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Books A Million and a lot of places that you can get this book at. So,
well, that's cool. Well, go ahead and give our listeners a hello. I'm Johnny Cash.
Okay, then if I was going to be talking to Johnny, then if you like him, I'd say hello. My name is Johnny Cash. Something like that. So.
All right, man. That sounds pretty good. Well, thank you for being on the show tonight and giving everybody their a glimpse of who David Wolfe is and everything that you
thank
do.
you.
Paula's looking at me.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. I tell you what, folks, real quickly, I got to plug Paula and Gavin. They've helped me out behind the scenes more than what most people realize, and I thank you for all that you two that have done for me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
No problem. All right, man. Well, you have yourself a good rest of the evening, and we'll talk to you later.
Well, you too. Have a happy Halloween, both of you, if I don't see you beforehand.
All right, then. You take it
Enjoy
easy.
your night.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
All right.
So that was David Wolfe, and don't forget to check out his Haunts of Owensboro, plus all the other books that he's listed, and davidwolfe.us to check him out. We're fixing to get our next one up. We got Stacey Hayes coming from OSPH. We have been there a couple of times for investigations, and we're fixing to go back next February to be part of another one.
Let's see if we can go ahead and get Stacey on the line here. We're waiting. It should be coming on up soon. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Good evening, Stacey. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing pretty good. We just got done talking to our first guest, and we've been talking a lot about Old South Pittsburgh Hospital because that's our favorite place, and it's kind of like our new stomping grounds. So we enjoy going there. So
it's a busy place.
Oh yeah. So go ahead and tell our listeners and viewers all about Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and if you happen to have any new experiences.
Well, my name is Stacey Hayes. I've run the hospital now for going on 5 years. We're starting that in January. So it's a pretty active place, as most people know that have been there. Lots of experiences going on. We have tons of shadow figures. We have, I'm not sure what you call them. We have this thing that looks like a monkey, crawls out of the wall, and
a creeper?
Up the wall, if you want to call it that, works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll hang off the ceiling.
Wow.
We had 3 actually show up 2 weeks ago on a Saturday night. 1 was in the clinic, 2 was upstairs around the ORs.
Oh, wow. That'd be interesting to see. Huh.
Well, a lot of people are getting to see them, and I don't know where they came from. I don't know who called them up. I have no idea. I can just tell you that the place is insanely active.
Tell me a little bit of history. So some of the viewers that do not know anything about OSPH, can you tell me a brief history about OSPH so people can find out what the...
Yeah. It was a hospital that was opened in 1959 by 4 doctors actually founded it. There was Dr. Taylor, Dr. Havron, I think there was Dr. Hackworth, and there was another one, and I never can remember his name. But they worked there for several years, and it was just built to be a small-town community hospital, not built for any major trauma, no major surgeries, just basically, appendectomies, take gallbladder out, birth some babies, pneumonias, things like that. Sew you up if you got cut, whatever. Just general sicknesses, but it wasn't built for, like the hospitals are now.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons it closed. It couldn't be upgraded. It couldn't be remodeled to bring it up to code, so they closed it. But it served the people of South Pittsburgh and Marion County for probably 40 years, maybe. It opened in 1959, closed in 1998. And then my father-in-law bought it, and in 2003, the first paranormal group came in to investigate it, and 2 of those people stayed, and they were there until November of 2013, and I actually took over on Thanksgiving Day of 2013.
Okay.
So how did
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So since you've had your involvement with OSPH, how, as I guess your manager ownership of the OSPH, how do you think the pros and cons of OSPH has brought back? Has it brought back a lot of positive thoughts onto the paranormal community?
I think it has, because number one, we stay busy. People are coming in and out of there all the time. I think I have like 3 open days in the whole month of October. That's it.
Oh, wow.
And November is filling up as well.
Mm-hmm.
And next year for 2018, most of my weekends are already gone.
Yeah, we'll be there in March.
So, so we just, it is what it is. It's just crazy. It's just a crazy, busy place. When I first took over, I caught a lot of flack for it because the former managers just, were up and gone in the middle of the night, didn't tell anybody. Basically, they just left an envelope on the Hayes' back door. And I found it going to work one morning. I was living with them at the time, was taking care of her because she'd had cancer again. And so it just kind of went from there. And then, of course, most people know that Ghost City Tours helped me manage that first year and help keep the doors open because otherwise it would have closed. And my goal was just to get through that first year, get it up and running, and give it back.
Right.
Nobody wants it. They still don't want it. So, and since I've had it now for 5 years, I consider that, kind of like my baby. And, and nobody can see your dream like you can. Nobody can see your baby like you can. You can have an idea and you can grow it and you can tell other people about it, but, they can't see it like you can. So, and I do have great people to help me. I can't do this alone. My volunteer staff is awesome. And, and the other people that I have helping me manage it now are just great and wonderful. So, it's coming right along and I'm happy to have it. And we're going to take it farther. We're going to start our own fall festival. It will be on Halloween this year, but next year it will be the 28th of October on Saturday. It will always fall the Saturday before. So we're already looking for vendors and storytellers and things for next year because Halloween is such a popular month, and October is basically.
Oh yeah.
And we already have music lined up. We're going to do it on Friday night. We're going to have a chili contest cook-off, and Saturday's going to be barbecue, and
wow.
We'll have stuff for kids. It's going to be family friendly. We're hoping to have local craft beer there. So we're really looking to boost it next year. And then, of course, we'll have a huge ghost hunt that night as well. But during the day, we'll kind of mostly be family friendly. And we'll do some other things, too. It's all in the planning stages. But we already have a name for it. So until all my paperwork comes back, I can't really tell you what it is. But I don't want nobody to steal my name. You know how that goes.
Oh yeah, I know how that goes. I've been helping currently on a con that we're going to next year. And it's going to be over at the Edinburgh Manor in Edinburgh, Iowa. And there's been different names for it. It was called the SuperCon 2018, and then we have James Anito jumped in and Kevin Betzler, and they kind of changed the name to adding, grapes to it. And I came up with a really cool name, and I think Serenity's going to run with it. So yeah, I understand about coming up with a name and not really giving it out because someone can probably steal it. I know about that.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get all your ducks in a row first before, you start doing all this stuff.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And, yeah, and we're also going to go and we're dipping into the food business a little bit because
really
we are going to have our own line of salsa and our own line of barbecue sauce. Oh, yeah.
OSPH salsa?
And to go with our merchandise, yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
I picked that up. I'm actually going to pick that up Saturday.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, we're going to have a taste-off on Halloween. So I know what flavors that we're supposed to be getting, but until they're in my hand, I don't want to say it and then be wrong.
Right. So, as you know, we our sponsor is Tascam, and we were using the DR100 Mark III, and we placed it on the nurses' station, the big nurses' station. Well, I believe it's on the first floor, is it? Is that where it's at?
Yeah,
first floor?
The big main one.
Okay.
On the first floor?
Nurses station? Where that one bathroom is by the elevators? And that's where we actually...
Are you talking about the first floor, or are you talking about the second floor?
The first floor where the big long one is.
The big long nurses
close
station.
to the ICU unit.
Okay, that's the second floor.
That's the second floor. Okay. I
That's
get
the
those
second floor
confused.
because it's flush. The building is flush with the hill. So when you come in at the back at the ER, you're actually coming in on the second floor.
Ah, so it's the second floor. I get that so confused. Okay, but on the second floor, we put that digital recorder up there, and then we went to investigate the rest of the hospital. And, of course, evaluating the recordings, we actually captured the sound of your elevator door opening and closing. Have you?
Oh, that's pretty common.
I'm sorry?
That's a pretty common thing. And, the dings like it's going to open, we hear those quite a bit. We've had the call lights over the rooms going off here lately.
Oh,
There's
wow.
no power to them, but we hear them. And, we're actually doing some painting in there. We're not bringing it up to make it modern, but we're taking it back to its originality. That's what I'm trying to say. We're going to take it back to the original colors, get rid of a lot of the graffiti.
Right.
We've told several people that have had things there, look, you need to take pictures of this, and if you'll take pictures and frame it, we'll hang it back on the wall. But we're painting over a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that some groups are not going to like that, but it's stirring up the activity. They like it. And it keeps you guys coming back because they're mad because of what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that kind of brings me to...
our rooms are being sponsored now by different people. Ghost Hunt Weekends has a room. Some of my volunteers are sponsoring a room, and they're decorating and painting them to however they want to do them. So when people come now, they can choose what rooms they want to sleep in.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah. So if there's, a group of 6 people and they don't, we give them 2 rooms. Or if there's, 7 or 8 people, we'll open up 3 rooms for them. But they can choose. And those rooms will be totally finished by December. So I had people up there working on them tonight. They were painting and doing some things in their rooms. And we're also creating a green room for when we have celebrities. So we're also working on that. That's my baby.
Where's the green room going to be located at?
The green room is going to be my old room.
Oh, the ghost host room?
That has my name on it. The one, yeah, that's going to be my old room. I have picked out some new paint and put a new queen size bed in there. So we're going to, and some living room furniture. So we're going to make that the green room.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool. I know we
Yeah.
stayed in the one that was right next door to it, the ghost suite or something like that. That's the one we stayed in.
Oh, I have a suite, but I don't know if you haven't seen this one yet because we just finished it.
No.
But let me tell you something. That room is mine, and nobody stays in that room.
Oh, man, I remember when we were there, I was like, oh, I want to take the ghost host room. You said, no, you're not.
Yep.
So, one story that always I've been telling a lot of people about whenever we talk about Old South is I forgot what floor it's on, but it was that puddle of water, and all of a sudden you saw feet prints leaving it.
That was on the 3rd floor.
On the 3rd floor by the ORs?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Go ahead and tell our listeners about that, because that's my favorite story. I like that one.
Back when Doc first bought the hospital, there was 4 of us in the hospital that day. There was myself, there was Dr. Hayes, Evan, who I was married to at the time, and another friend of ours, Michael, who had worked for Dr. Hayes for probably 20 years and still does some stuff for him on the side now. But we were all up there on the 3rd floor. It was close to the nursery, and it was a beautiful day. They just had the roof sealed. When he bought the hospital, he had just had the roof done. So we knew we didn't have any leaks up there, and it was a pretty day outside. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. But we see this puddle of water just past the nursery right before you go around the corner.
Right.
We walk over there to it, and then it was like little puddles, but we get closer and look down, and it's baby footprints, and they were the size, toddler size. Maybe, a size 2, size 3, 2-year-old, 3-year-old maybe. They weren't very big footprints. They were baby footprints. But they just walked around the corner and then disappeared. And, that's happened several times. No random pattern to it, nothing like that. They just randomly show up. But that's happened to us several times. That was one of my very first experiences in the hospital.
Well,
and that was back when it closed in 1998.
Okay.
Or no, 2000, because Doc got the keys in 2000. He started the process in 98 when it closed.
Yeah, the reason why I brought that story up is because we have a friend of ours that experienced something similar. Their back door was shut. It was raining outside, I believe it was. And there was one footprint that was by the door, and it disappeared. And they didn't have any shoes to match that footprint. and they're still trying to figure out who put that there.
Who knows? You know, we hear coughing all the time, and come to find out, Chris, if you know who Christopher Maggard is,
Yes, I know
his
Christopher.
wife's grandfather died in the room next to mine.
Oh, really?
And what we found out was he died with a lung disease. He died with lung problems, and I don't know if he was a smoker, but I know he had lung problems. But every
Right.
once in a while, we'll hear that cough. It's like, man, you're going to hack up a lung, and he may have. But we hear that, and I don't know if it's residual. I don't know if it's just something that replays itself, or if it's, you know, somebody we can't see walking through there.
Yeah.
But it's usually in that area, and we hear it over by the stairs going out to the courtyard. That's the two places we've heard the coughing.
Huh.
We have a whistler that, you know, he whistled a lot. You can catch it on your recorders.
Okay. I don't think
So-
we've caught a whistler, but the one thing that we got, which is really phenomenal, was in the ICU, and Brandon Kreitzer was playing an EKG on his phone, and it was going through, you know, the rhythms of the whole EKG, and then it gets to the point of a flat line. And all of a sudden, we heard boom, 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 like that. And to me, it sounded like that there was something going on in the room, and the door was shut, possibly locked, and the nurse is banging on the door wanting to get in, is what I was thinking it was. And that's when Brandon thought that there was somebody on the other side of the door, and he kicked the door open. And
Yeah, I remember that clip because I think you guys sent that to me to watch.
yeah. And then Joe goes with him around the hospital, and they actually find the door that actually made that noise, and they're knocking on it saying, "This is it. This is the sound." So he goes back in to where we are, and Joe's like, "So go ahead and if you made that sound earlier, can you go ahead and do that again?" And all of a sudden, it just did it again, and it was just like, "Oh, dang, that was awesome." We just couldn't believe that it did it on command, but we're still trying to figure out exactly what that was. I mean, I'm assuming it was a nurse knocking frantically on the door, but I don't think the doors would lock. So why would a nurse be knocking frantically on a door?
Don't know. I couldn't tell you. That is one of those things that I just don't have an answer for.
And I know that people try to communicate with, Timmy, the one that had a pocket full of little baby copperhead snakes because he thought they were worms.
Yeah, that was Buddy.
Buddy. Okay.
Yeah, that's Buddy.
And he died of anaphylactic shock, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. I've not found anything that says that story is not true, and too many people around South Pittsburgh know about that story. So I'm taking that one as it is fact and true.
Okay.
Well, I know we were there doing the investigation, and I used my Alice program, and on Alice,
it came up and said worms.
It said worms, and it said a couple of other things that associated with that story.
Buddy, yeah. Yeah. Brandon was asking questions about, did you have little snakes did you know you had snakes in your pocket? And her program, Alice, popped up and said worms. And she said, Alice said worms, and Brandon's like, yeah, that's right. He thought they were worms. That's why he put them in his pocket, because he was going to take them to go show his mother. But they were actually baby copperhead snakes that bit him up. So, I mean, what a way to go, right?
Yep. That would just terrify me. I have a 5-year-old grandson, and we tell him not to pick anything up.
Right? But, let's see. I know you, have you had anybody that has gone into OSPH and did an investigation, got literally thrown out of a room or pushed out of a room?
That happened to Doc's youngest son, and he was a teenager. It actually happened to one of his friends. He was up on the 3rd floor, and just across the nurse's station, there was a waiting room, and there was in the next room was a kind of like a lounge, and it had like the vending machines and stuff in it. Well, this little kid went in there, and something grabbed him. Something really did wear him out in there.
Wow.
And he won't even drive by the hospital to this day.
Huh.
But yeah, that actually happened. Of course, back then nobody talked about it because we're talking before the shows were even popular.
Right.
and were on TV. But yeah, I have heard of that. And my head was actually slammed against the wall my very first night in there. And I had to be treated for a whiplash. I couldn't turn my head.
Ooh. Well, I know I got pushed out of the x-ray room.
That doesn't surprise me. I've had my name called out of there too.
When you walked on by it, you heard Stacey.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that was like my third time in there by myself. So I am 50 years old, and I'm going to admit this on this podcast. Yes, I wet my pants and I left the building, and I didn't go back for about a week.
Oh, wow. So,
You know, that was my first bad experience there. And, but I think looking back now,
mm-hmm.
I was terrified because I wasn't so much, I don't think, terrified of the business
Mm-hmm.
and the building. I was terrified about what I got myself into. I'm like,
Right.
I can run a Cracker, I can run a Quiznos, I can manage whatever. But how do you manage something you can't see?
Yep, a haunted hospital.
So, but the more I conquered my fear, the less I was bothered.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. They strive on fear. So if you do not show them that you are fearful or you're scared, then they can't really build on it. And the one thing that really gets me is like when everybody went to bed that night and I was finishing up dumping files in the trailer outside of the emergency exit, 'cause that's where we pulled the trailer. I was out there by myself and I'm hearing like knocking on the sides of the wall of the trailer. And I'm just like, okay. And after I get done, I close everything up and I'm just walking and I can hear right behind me, and I'm like, okay, so whoever you are you like gonna follow me? Are you gonna show me something? And then it stopped. So then I went around the corner of the old nurses station on the second floor, heading toward the new nurses station, and I hear,
Right.
it's like they're running up on me, and then they stop.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just
I can't stand that, to be walking down that hallway and hear footsteps behind me. I refuse to turn around because I know one of these days I'm going to see something, so I just keep going.
right? But the thing was,
And
my flashlight.
Yeah, that's a pretty creepy hallway.
Yes, it is.
We see the big shadow man down there a whole lot.
Yeah.
And he was really active today playing peekaboo with us.
Oh, really?
With all these changes. And yeah, we were over there painting today. And, the atmosphere in the place it can be heavy or you cannot feel anything in different areas at different times. Like sometimes we can go up to the third floor and it's like, not today. And we leave. And sometimes we can come in to clean. We can come up behind the break room where I always do. And we can hit the top of those stairs and it's like, not today.
Yeah.
And then other days we go in and it's just calm. It's like there's nothing there. And then other days we sense it and we feel like we're being watched, but we don't feel like they're like an ambush type thing. And we have felt that before a lot.
Yeah, it just feels peaceful. It doesn't feel like it's going to be hostile or anything.
Yeah, it's just like they're nosy. And and I'm big on holidays. Halloween's coming up, so we'll do a little bit of decorating for that. And then as soon as that's over, we'll put up. I'm big on Christmas. That's my favorite holiday. My Christmas tree is still up and decorated. I just put it off in the corner. I won't take it down because I finally got it the way I wanted it. But
wow.
And people laugh at me all the time, so that's okay. We all have our issues. Mine's Christmas. But anyway, so November the 1st, I'll put the Christmas tree up, and then we'll decorate for Thanksgiving as well. So, we're trying to go with the seasons and celebrate the holidays inside just like they would when it was open. So I'm sure that's going to stir some stuff up as well.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, whenever you start changing their environment that they're not used to, yeah, they're going to go ahead and make it known. They're going to be like, hey, stop that.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And, but that's good for you guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it hates me, if we were in the chapel one night. I had a friend of mine come down and I've decided I needed to learn how to ghost hunt. If I'm going to run the business, I might as well learn how to do it.
Right.
So after being 5 years in, I'm pretty secure in this now. So we're down in the chapel one night and we're asking questions, and there was like, I don't know the name of the toys, so forgive me. But anyway, I think it was the REM pod that was in the doorway of the chapel.
Okay.
And, we just started talking, and I said, I think I'm going to quit. I'm just going to hand this place over to you. And it just a random conversation, although it was a real conversation, but that's not really what was going to happen, you know?
Right.
We were just kind of feeding into it, see if anything would happen. That whole back wall lit up. I'm like, do you want me to leave? And I mean, it lit up. And I'm like, do you want this person to take over? And it would light up. And I said, do you like me? Nothing. Do you hate me? And it lit up again.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, I'm like, well, it sucks for you because I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, we've had some pretty good interactions with it down there. And all it loves to hate me. I get growled at quite a bit.
Oh, wow. No, I haven't
get growled at a
experienced
lot.
that yet.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I haven't experienced being
You haven't
growled
been
at.
growled at?
Huh.
Well, the next time you come down, you probably will get a growl if you hang out with me because when it's ready for me to lose, it growls at me.
Oh, wow.
Well, I know when we were doing the walkthrough with you, we were going down that one hallway, and you're like, I'm not going down there. I'll wait right here.
Yeah, I can sense it, and I'm like, nope. But now, I'm just like, whatever, and I just go, which can be good and bad because if I'm in there by myself and there really is somebody in there, I could be in trouble with that because I don't always carry my gun when I go by myself, and I probably should do that.
Right.
So I just told them I'm a gun owner, so yes, I am.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
I'm a Southern rebel and a gun owner, so there you go.
Oh,
Maybe
man.
why I'm still single too, but anyway, that's another story. But
one thing I know a lot of people have asked me when they've looked at our pictures of Old South Pittsburgh, why is there a car in the building?
that car belongs to the owner, the current owner of Dr. Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually stolen out of his driveway about 10, 11 years ago now. And they were lucky enough to get it back because it's an Alfa Romeo Spider and it's a 6-speed convertible.
Right.
Well, he said when he got it back, he said if it'll fit through the hospital doors, that's where it's going. Well, it fit, so they pushed it in there, and it's been there ever since. And, you know, it really makes me sick every time I go by and look at it because so many people have just destroyed it.
Yes.
So many groups, instead of sitting back and looking at it, they climbed over it, they busted the headlights, they busted the windshield on it. So, you know, we're either going to take it out or I'm going to build some false walls around it so nobody can see it anymore.
Yeah, I mean...
To keep it more damage from happening to it. Because he doesn't want to take it out of there.
Right. I mean, when we saw it, let's see, we've been there how many times? 3 times, I think, now?
I think so.
The first time we went there, I don't think the car was that damaged. The second time we went there, somebody stuck a snake up on the hood. And I shined my flashlight real quick over the hood, and I saw that you would have saw me jump in the air about 3 feet.
Yeah, well, you know, somebody bought like 3 or 4 of those, and we would find them in random places. But the worst thing that we would find is when I first took over, we had this dummy, and he had long gray hair, and he was part of what the former managers used to do for like their Halloween haunted house or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And they had him in surgical scrubs.
Oh,
well,
geez.
you know, I would tell people, don't open that door. And then I would leave, and then I would hear somebody scream, and I would holler back, I told you not to open the door. But they'll do it anyway. So, you know, it just kind of works that way.
Yeah.
But I would find him hanging everywhere. You know, one day we were on the 3rd floor, and I was giving a tour. We'd come around the corner, and there he is. He's just hanging in the middle of the hallway. People are screaming, and I'm like, well, that's where you are. And then one day they had him sitting in the nursery in a wheelchair. You know, they had him laying in bed. I mean, you just never knew where you were going to find that dummy. And I think somebody finally took it.
Really?
And I was glad to see him go, yes.
Oh, man. That, I don't know.
Because I knew to be on the lookout for it. I never told all the groups I was giving tours to that, hey, we might run up on this thing. You know, because they really thought it was somebody hanging there. And I'm like, well, that's where you are.
Oh, God. I wonder how Paula would have reacted if she walked around a corner and saw that and shined the light right at it.
I don't know.
I'd believe you to yourself.
Probably.
I know you would. Oh my God. So go ahead and let the folks know how they can actually book Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, and if you're going to have any events that you're going to be going to promote Old South Pittsburgh?
We have lots of events coming up. We have Ghost Hunts USA this weekend. If you want tickets, you have to buy through them. GhostHuntsUSA.com. On September 30th, we have Ghost Lab Returns. Barry and Brad Kling will be there that night.
Awesome.
Tickets still available. I'm not sure the website, but we do have it posted on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
And then in October 13th, we have Ghost Hunt Weekends returns for one night for a Friday the 13th hunt. Then on Halloween night, we're having our big deal. We're going to have a movie that night. We're going to do a ghost hunt that night. We'll have, food at midnight. So that's a really big deal for us on Halloween. And then in November, we have Ghost Hunt USA and Ghost Hunt Weekends.
Mm-hmm.
December, we have Ghost Hunt USA and Ghost Hunt Weekends.
Mm-hmm.
Then New Year's Eve, we have a New Year's Eve party. The only thing with that one is you have to be 21 because we serve champagne and we do food at midnight for New Year's. And we do about from 11:45 to about 12:15, and then we go back to the ghost hunt. So we have that coming up. And then in February, we have Jen McGowan's event coming up. March, I think, is yours.
Yep.
And then we have, also in March, we have the Tennessee Wraith Chasers coming.
Yep.
They had to change their schedule again. So we just have all kinds of things going on. Like I said, we're busy all the time. We're open about 360 days a year because I take usually the week of Christmas off.
Right.
I have a grandson, so I don't want to be running back and forth. I want to be Grammy and do the Santa Claus thing with him. So we close those days. And then, to get in contact with me, just call the phone number that's on the Facebook page, which is 423-362-0089, which my new phone will be here tomorrow. Well, it's already here, but my daughter has it. So it'll be reprogrammed tomorrow. This is my spare that I'm on tonight. And then you can go to our website, which is osphghosthunts.com. We're revamping that a little bit, and the 2018 calendar will be on that, up and working on that shortly. I don't have an exact date yet, but it's coming. And we also have a calendar on our Facebook page, and you just look up Old South Pittsburgh Hospital and you should be able to find us. So there's many ways to get in touch with us. And my office hours are 10 to 10.
All righty. Well, we do appreciate you coming on the show and telling everybody all about Old South Pittsburgh Hospital and all your events. And I'm thinking me and Paula might actually come down for New Year's Eve.
Maybe.
If you're not working.
It's going to be fun. It will definitely be fun. Everybody hey, look, I go all out for New Year's. Look, we do the party hats. I do the party favors.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you only get to bring in a new year once a year, so you might as well do it right,
Exactly. And especially in a haunted location.
Exactly. Because you never know what may or may not happen. You just don't ever know. And two, you'll get to see some of our improvements and, our new paint jobs. And,
right.
We're constantly trying to make it better. The next big thing is to get the sign outside painted.
Right.
From when it was open before. So we're actually working on that now and looking at getting that done. So we're working to improve it and keep it going, and hopefully people will enjoy it for many years to come.
Oh, I tell you what, we enjoy it every time we go there. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital does not disappoint. And
no, and I tell everybody all the time, if you're a skeptic walking in, you won't be when you leave.
Oh, I believe that. But
yep.
We do appreciate you coming on the show. And
oh, you're more than welcome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, not a problem.
This is so much easier. This is so much easier than being in front of a camera.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Well, we have 3 cameras on us right now.
Well, yeah, but you're used to them,
Oh yeah. So, well,
I'm sitting at home in my PJs on my couch watching Going RV because I'm just drooling to buy one. One of these days I'll have one.
I hear you. We're looking to get one too. Huh?
We are now going out to different Paracons. Although we were supposed to go to Gulf Coast this weekend, we're not going now. My van tore up. Well, my key, the chip in my key actually died, so it cost me $250 for a key for it.
Wow.
But we're looking at doing some 2 or 3 Paracons next year in different parts of the country. We have fans from all over, from Massachusetts, all the way to California.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're looking at doing, at least 3, and they'll be hopefully a northern, a midwestern, and then maybe one out west. It just depends. But we're looking at those, and I'm excited to be able to take OSPH on the road.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, you can always try to make it out to the Haunted Bourbon. That'll be October 27th, 28th, and 29th in New Orleans.
Oh, well, no, I won't be able to do that one because I'm doing one in Chattanooga the 27th.
Ah, gotcha.
And I forgot about that one. That one's called Halicon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We're actually going out there to premiere our first episode, which is St. Albans Sanatorium. And then the second one right behind it is Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. You did watch it, right?
I can't wait to see it.
Did you watch it yet?
I haven't watched all of it, no.
Ah.
But I will. I'll get it done. I watch things in spurts. Look, I don't watch the shows at home. I don't want it in my house. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm with it all the time, and home is home. That's my sanctuary,
Right.
And
your safe
although
place.
I think I did have something follow me home from the Thomas house, and I've then had to send it back. I told it could go visit the hospital, but it couldn't stay here. It had to go.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we haven't gone to the Thomas house yet. We've been invited, but we haven't had a chance to go.
That place, if you like history, if you like old buildings, and that hotel bed and breakfast now was built over 100 years ago.
Oh, wow.
A lot of it's still original. Beautiful, beautiful place. Great family that owns it. And, if you get the chance, I think you ought to go. And just because I run a haunted location, I tell people all the time, go see other places.
Oh, yeah.
But don't compare it to OSPH because our activity is so high.
Right.
Because each place is unique in its own. Each place has its own stories.
And some places you won't get anything. We know
this
that.
is true.
We know
and
that.
I tell people all the time, just lay your recorder down and walk away, or sit there and have a conversation, then go back and listen to it later. Because just because you can't hear it or see it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Right. Exactly. I know those old buildings are just right up Paula's alley, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I know when we went to Brushy, there was about 10 of us that went up to Brushy Mountain, and that was my first place to go outside of my own building.
Oh,
and
wow.
one of the EVPs that we got back said South Pittsburgh on it.
Really? Huh.
So they knew we were coming. Yeah, they knew.
Yeah, Brushy Mountain's on our list.
I haven't listened to anything from the Thomas house yet, but
Oh, wow.
But I did have something follow me home because it was speaking through my phone.
Huh. Yeah, Brushy Mountain is on our list too for next year. We've got a lot of places. We're actually going to be changing things up a bit. We're going to be hitting a lot of jails and prisons and what else? We're not really going to hit hospitals. We're mainly doing jails and prisons next year, I believe.
Mm-hmm. We know they have their own issues too. They have their own ghosts, if you want to call them that. They have their own paranormal things that goes on there. Investigate all of it.
Oh yeah.
Well,
it's everywhere.
Well, we are going to Iowa for
Edinburgh Manor.
Edinburgh Manor.
Yeah. I don't know what the whole story is about that one. If it was a hospital or a home.
It was a hospital / well, it's not really a hospital. It was a mental facility and / poor farm.
Oh, okay. I knew she would know it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard about that one. I talk to Marcel sometimes at St. Albans, and I've talked to Rochelle up at what is the name of her place? She's gonna kill me if she listens.
Rochelle at Rolling Hills?
No, not Rolling Hills. That's Sharon.
Oh, okay.
Hillview Manor. That's it. Hillview Manor.
Ah.
Rochelle has Hillview Manor, and and we talk a lot. People don't think we do, but we're all owners. We do. We toss ideas around everywhere. I talk to Chad Morin a lot. I talk to Tyler from Ghost Hunt USA. I mean, I talk to all of them. I have the location. I'm the business owner. I talk to these people, and and they're each unique in their own way. They all have a following. Everybody does. Everybody has their favorites, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have your own following. Right. Brandon has his own.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, all righty.
It is what it is.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, all righty. We're gonna go ahead and get off of here, and once again, we do appreciate you being on the show, and I'm sure all the listeners are very appreciative of you explaining all about Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, the experiences you've had, and of course, our experiences as well. So that way, more people will come on out and check out Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, especially
just come on
New
down
Year's.
and check us out. There's more stories than I have time to tell on this phone call tonight. But
right. Well, I know some of them.
If you come and I give you a tour, you get a few more of them. Mm-hmm. I've also been asked to write a book, but we'll talk about that later because I can't say anything more than that right now. So we'll see how that goes.
All right, then. Well, you have yourself a good evening.
All right. Thanks, Gavin. Y'all have a good night. Bye, Paula.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you guys have it. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, Stacey Hayes. Now you know how to book the location. It's place never disappoints, and we've had a lot of experiences there. We've captured shadow figures walking down the hallway. I've got thrown, well, not really thrown, I got pushed out of the x-ray room. There's just so many things.
They just didn't like you there.
I guess. Dang spider. I hate spiders. Did you see any spiders at Old South Pittsburgh Hospital? I don't remember.
No, that I know of.
I remember seeing a snake on the Alfa Romero.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I believe what we're going to go ahead and do now is Paula's favorite thing that she started up called a paranormal fishbowl. It really doesn't look like a fishbowl, but you get to pick the question. I did it last week. She's going to pick the question on out and read it. And you guys can go ahead and leave your answer in the Facebook chat room, or if you're watching live on YouTube, you can leave it in the live chat room. However, if you guys want us to call you and you want to get on the show tonight to give us your answer, just go ahead and message Paula and give her your phone number, and we'll go ahead and give you a shout. Here comes the question.
Here comes the question. What's fact or faked of the paranormal?
What's fact or faked?
Fake.
Wasn't that a TV show called Fact or Faked?
Fact or fake. What is fact or fake about the paranormal?
You tell me.
Well, I mean, it's just it's opinionated, so what is fact or fake? I mean, the fact is we try to keep it real. There is people out there that loves to fake stuff to make attention.
Oh yeah, there's like a lot of videos and stuff where all of a sudden you see cabinet doors opening up. You see glasses fly across a table. You're thinking you're hearing stuff, and it's actually, people moving fishing lines and stuff like that, making stuff do the quote-unquote poltergeist activity. I've seen so many videos, and I'm just so sick and tired of them, because every time I see them, I'm always writing fake on them, and then whoever the owner is decides to, get a hurt butt and start saying, oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, seriously? I can tell it's fake. I mean, there's just so many videos that are totally fake. I mean, like that one that they had, I know you've seen it. Supposedly it's a police officer walking down this dark hallway, and you can see this red door slam, 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 slam. They said, quote unquote, it was a morgue door that was slamming, and that he was a security officer that was going to check it. Come to find out, it was actually a fire hose door that had a piece of string attached to it. So when you yank it, the door swings open. If you do it like this, well, then it's going to shut. And if you do it this hard enough, it'll slam and then bounce back open by itself. And it just keeps on doing that. There's a door right next door to him. So all of a sudden, the officer goes down there. The door slams one last time. The lights go off. That means dude ripped the string off and hid in the room. Found out that it was all staged. The guy was not a police officer, and it was done at a school.
Oh, wow.
But there's just so many videos. It's just unreal. The only one I really question is the Gettysburg one. Have you seen that one? A soldier walks around the cannon and then disappears.
I have not seen that one.
That one I am kind of on the fence with, because it does look real, but I have seen a lot of videos where people can actually go ahead and change the opacity of the person and turn them into a ghost, and also do a gradient on them that actually can make their legs disappear or fade, and you can make them walk.
Now, I've seen the one video where the guy thought, he made everybody think he had a poltergeist in his house, and he ended up having a green suit on, and he was causing the effect of what was going on in the room.
With the little girl?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, he had I believe it was a fishing line wrapped around a little doll's hair, and he pulled it on up. That made the hair move up. But the one you're talking about is the little girl is sitting at the table, and the paper flies off, and then the stapler goes off. And if you watch very carefully before any of that happened, there is like a heat signature, kind of similar to like when you're holding a match and you kind of put a camera toward it. You can actually see the haze. You see that for a split second. That's due to somebody wearing a green screen suit, and the light was affected when he did that. So that's the reason why. I mean, I knew that right then and there was a green screen suit. But I mean, there's just so many videos that are fake out there. A lot of them can get debunked. However, ours, the running apparition, that can't be debunked. I've sent that off to numerous people, and they say what we got is the holy grail of paranormal investigating. I mean, we got an apparition running, and it's on our YouTube channel.
And sad places that property and
It's
those
gone.
buildings are gone. We were told the sad situation of that location, and I was hoping to go back and because we went there with the bare basics of the
Of our equipment. Oh my God.
And we've advanced so since then, and better cameras, better situations of what we've got compared to what we first started with. And it'd be amazing what we would catch on what equipment we've got now.
I mean, I believe when I caught that apparition running, I was using a Sony High 8 Handycam, which was running an 8mm cassette.
Oh, and them cassettes are not cheap anymore.
Good Lord, you can go to Walmart and you can pick up a pack of 2 for $47.99. Yes!
I was like, oh my gosh.
So, I mean, yeah, most definitely, if we would have went back with our equipment now, I mean, I'd love to go to that exact same spot where we captured the apparition and put a thermal on there and see if we capture anything. I mean, we did go back when the area was all dilapidated, and we used a piece of software, a new piece of software, and I don't remember the name off the top of my head because we've used a lot of applications to test out. I mean, we've used applications from ghosthunterapps.com. We've used stuff from let's see, what is it?
I don't know.
Ghost Hunter Tools.
It might be a Ghost Hunter tool, I think.
I don't know. I mean, we use a lot of stuff. I mean, if you ever go to our website, you can see all the stuff we use.
It's the Ghost Hunter tools.
Yeah, Ghost Hunter tool. It's really cool. You basically
Here, I'll bring it up.
pull it up. She can pull it up here. I think it has something to do where it works with Wi-Fi. I think.
I don't know. It
maybe.
kind of reminds you of between an Ovilus and an Alice, but
Yeah.
it's kind of. And I don't know if you can see it.
We'll show it on your laptop right there.
Well, I was gonna try to show on both, but I can show on the laptop.
There you go.
What it looks like.
So what it does is the little boxes will start rising on up, but you can see they're kind of fluctuating up and down. They're real low right now. But if it actually detects something, it'll go all the way up and then turn red, and then a word will pop up. See, like that?
And that is, the fact is, if it does go up in here, my house does have, this is the house that we always talked about, the little boy being in, every time we've been interviewed, how we get started and stuff. We live in this house. We do have the little boy, Frederick, that we live with.
And his grumpy father.
And his grumpy father, and I think someone else here, too. But it's
Say
just
what?
like the little old ladies that perfume smell and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's
But we
what
haven't
it looks
had
like.
any. There it goes. It's starting to rise.
Yeah.
But we haven't had really anything here in a while.
Well, no, not really.
It's been quiet. It's been really, really quiet.
And we got something, but I don't know what it said. It went too fast.
Oh, it's changing to yellow now.
Unclear. Got the new word, unclear.
Okay, it said unclear. I have no idea.
Like I said, this program's kind of iffy. I mean, I know it's got a dictionary built in it, but
Yes, that one does.
and so I'm not too sure how it actually. I mean, it might be a software style Ovilus. I don't know.
A lot of those are coming out. But see, most of the apps that we've been encountering actually use the Wi-Fi, but I go ahead and put them to a test by putting it on airplane mode. So if it works on airplane mode when it actually requires to have a Wi-Fi connection, then it could be something. Hey, check that out. That was cool. It crashed.
Yep, it did. Live stream me died.
Wow, that's funny. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and take you guys back a little bit. Tomorrow night at 6:30-ish, Paula and I will be interviewed on 920 FM, which is WMOK in Metropolis, Illinois. It's actually it's a real country radio station, and they're going to interview us on that station tomorrow night, talking about our investigation at the Massac County Courthouse and Jail, and of course all of our experiences that we had, talking about the dandy box that we use. One thing, I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but we did have a photographer from the Metropolis Planet. She stayed with us until 3 o'clock in the morning, taking pictures and actually witnessing what goes on behind the scenes when you're shooting a TV show, and of course while we're investigating. But during the time of setup, Paula and I were wearing the EVP shirt, which is Earthbound Voices Paranormal. So we were actually promoting that team during our setting up of our base camp. And we are actually looking to do that for other groups. So if you guys are interested, you have your own team, you want to get your team's name out there, we can promote it by wearing your shirts, wearing your ball caps during the time of doing setup of base camp. We'll wear it during interviews, like on the radio. We'll wear it while we're doing Facebook Lives. So we got numerous ways that we can promote your team to help you get your team out there so people can actually know who you are. This is the same thing that goes for radio shows. If you have a radio show that wants to get their name promoted, by all means, send us your t-shirt or your hat, and we will basically become a walking billboard to promote your team, your radio show. And back to you, Bob. Oh. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, well, let's see. What are we doing?
Well, I mean, of course, we're doing our own little 3 days off.
Yeah.
We're going to go on excursions. We have people that are just dying to meet us in Metropolis. They've already found out we're going to the library. God help us when we show up.
Oh, yeah. We're probably going to have a large following there. It's already been told that we're coming back to Metropolis, and it just starts going. Word gets around fast. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have a huge group that shows up there. I mean, a lot of them are like, we want to meet you. We want to hang out. And of course, anybody that wants to come to our seminar, it is October 26th at the McCracken County Public Library here in Paducah, Kentucky. We're going to be up on the second floor. It starts at 7 p.m. and it goes until when it's over. But we're going to be talking about, what it takes to be a paranormal investigator, the do's and don'ts of ghost hunting. Let's see, our experiences, the locations we've been to. We'll be doing a Q&A. We'll also be demonstrating the gear that we use. So we'll have Paranalogies equipment there. We'll have Paratronics there. We'll have Centrex technology. We'll have the Dandy box there, which is brand new. So we're going to have a lot of our sponsors' equipment there that we're going to demonstrate for the community that comes together to come to the seminar, which will be October 26th. So it's a free seminar. Anybody is welcome to come, so it's going to be pretty cool. And we're slowly winding down. It's about 10:44. So I don't know. I really don't have anything else to say. I'm kind of lost for words here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already named everything that we're doing and what we're doing, so you know what? We may just go ahead and cut this short because I did have some issues with Facebook. My phone completely died, so the show is still live on YouTube. So that's the reason why I'm telling you guys, you got to go to our YouTube channel to subscribe. You'll be able to see all the camera angles. You'll be able to see all the graphics, all the pictures, the videos and stuff that we played during the show, which you cannot see on Facebook Live because Facebook Live is only one camera. It's either going to be my phone or it's going to be Paula's laptop. And right now, since my phone died, Paula's laptop has been running for the rest of the show. However, YouTube has been streaming the entire show. So you'll need to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. I've got links on my page. I got links on Paula's page. So if you want to have the main Phantasmic Journey experience of the podcast, please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We're looking to see if we can get 5,000 subscribers before our show airs October 31st, and we may actually have a drawing for a free gift from AdamandEve.com.
Oh, God.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that video was awesome. Purebred American, Thad Ranger here.
Oh, God. If you ever go on Facebook and you look up Thad Ranger, you will totally get it. I was just,
wow.
floored. I was like, really?
He wound up signing up for a free membership to AdamandEve.com. And the reason why he did, because he thought it has something to do with Bible history. So, of course, he jumped at it. And once he signed up for the free membership, he got a free gift from AdamandEve.com. When he got that gift, that's when the fun starts.
Oh, my God. He opened it up.
Well, let's not go there.
All I know is if you go, if anybody knows about the website, I'm pretty sure they can put 2 to 2 together on that. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I
that
heard
was
about
funny.
it for days. I thought it had already been swept underneath the rug and you have to bring it out again.
Yep. Oh, I can watch that thing and it is just so hilarious. But anyway, we are going to go ahead and call it a night. It is 10:47, so anybody that missed the entire podcast, just go ahead and go to the YouTube channel. It'll be right there. However, I'm going to go ahead and share the YouTube link on the Facebook page and tag Paula in it, so that way it'll be on both of our pages, so you guys can go ahead and actually watch the stream there. It's better to watch it live, but you can also watch the recorded version. So, anyway, everybody, have a good night, and keep ghosting.
Bye.